So this winter I started running into hard start issues with my Hummer. From researching online, people say start with the EESS box, electronic engine start system. These are most likely to give trouble on the vehicles, especially if they're the older versions. What you see right here is a newer Smart Start box. I got this used off eBay. It's also known as an S3 box, and you can identify them by the diagnostic port on the front right here. As you can see, this looks like it's in very, very good condition. For a used box, I'm plumb happy. Now these newer boxes, they need what's called a temperature sending unit, and I have a KDS unit right here I got from Cascar. Now the older boxes came with a glow plug controller. The start system would send a signal, I suppose, to the glow plug controller, which would run the glow plugs. Everything now is done from inside this green box, and the KDS Temp sensor just tells the box whether it's warm enough, whether it needs to cycle the glow plugs or not. Now we'll go over to the vehicle and look underneath here. If you don't already know, your start box just sits right underneath the console right there. There's one plug that comes out the front. That is for your key, electronics, so on and so forth. And then there's a second plug over here on top of the engine compartment. That comes from your engine harness and runs everything else. Now I will warn you, as you can see, I beat the crap out of this thing trying to get it loose. I completely mangled her, and if you have any rust issues, this could very easily be frozen on. I've tried hammer, punch, chisels, channel locks, vice grips, pretty much you name it. I ended up soaking her down with some brake free or some rust dissolving agents, something quite a bit stronger than WD-40. And then I ended up using a channel lock to finally get her loose. Now the trouble was I was trying to pull on the lower collar, the thick one, but you want to pull on the upper collar right there and just give her some twists like that. This one is extremely tight for some reason. I'll have to take the majority of it loose with the channel lock pliers. And then when I get done with the installation, the newer box, the engine harness mounts just opposite of the current harness, so you'll have to finagle it around and get her plugged back in. Over here, what I'm looking at right now is where the KDS Temp sending unit will go. And what I'll do is I'll do a speed through on the installation of the smart box and the new temperature control unit. So I have a brand new KDS temperature sensor hooked in where the glow plug controller was, as they call it. I have my battery reconnected. I did not mention earlier, but before you do this, disconnect your batteries. Come around to the front here. My reservoir for my washer is still loose, but that's connected. All 4 bolts are tight. And then we'll double check underneath here. As you can see, this harness right here. Let me pull back. That one is for my light switch. I'm not too worried. I want to make sure she starts first. So we'll look back up in there. And that plug is connected into the new Nartron, however you pronounce that, smart start box. So, now's the time of truth. We'll give her a try here. Wait light is on. Wait light is off. So it was not the Smart Start box. Now that you know how to replace the box, I'll go over the tools I use. A little DeWalt impact. This right here is dielectric grease. I put it on all my connectors. As you can see, I cleaned up my connectors because they were pretty dirty. I used a Q-tip. Should be around here somewhere. Right back here. And then for the smaller connectors, I made a makeshift wire brush out of some small gauge wire stripped. I just use that to scrape out the inside of the connectors. And then 1.5 inches is the wrench I used for the temperature sending unit. Used some pipe tape there to seal her up good. And then I used the CRC electronics cleaner. Stuff works great for cleaning up bad ends and connectors. Nope. And that wrench. Now you did notice I had some difficulty installing the box. That's because the bolts that came with it were too long, so I had to go use the original bolts, which were quite a bit shorter. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Any additional information, links to tools or parts that I used will be provided in the description. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day.